ready. Hey, and hey.
What's happening? What's happening?
Hey, hey.
What'd you do? You eating hay or something like that?
Hey.
What's happening?
How you doing, RJ?
All the hay he got in the front of his house, he must have been chewing on it.
Hey, it's well seasoned.
Oh, you get.
Oh man, how was your weekend, man?
Are you getting your lawn ready for the spring? Fertilization.
It's funny you say that. No, it's funny. I was looking back and go, almost that time. Almost that time. I'm starting to get excited about it, right? Ooh,
but
just get excited about it.
He don't need no help from other entities. He does his own yard. So
I know. I understand. I go hire somebody.
But a lot of them hirees might not be there. So
your lawn gonna be like this, bro. You better get that lawnmower ready.
Your grass gonna look like corn.
My guy. Well, you know what? They're so stupid. They made him. He's from Puerto Rico, but they made him deport him anyway. Not knowing Puerto Rico's from the United States. Hey, you gotta get out of here. You don't belong here. Oh, jeez.
Oh man.
But
But besides that, how was your weekend, man?
Hey man, great weekend. We had, just not much going on. Food pantry as usual every first and third Sunday. So we had that first and third Saturday. So we had that. But other than that, it's been just a chill week. Just keep my business in prayer, man. We almost there. So just keep it in prayer, and hopefully in 3 or 4 months I can say, yes, we have arrived. But other than that, how's your weekend, guys? How's your weekend?
Hey man. This man right here, he's stupid. I'm not saying nothing. He's stupid. So the question is, you said your business, is it here or is it here? So he was trying to get definitive when you meant by the size of your progress of your business.
Okay.
Just go ahead, man. Don't worry about it.
Hey,
Go ahead, man.
No, I don't know. I don't think about it. I was at 2 funerals, one Saturday and one Sunday. Yes. So I was at both funerals. I'm praying for both of the families.
Yes.
One was a smaller funeral, but it's still impacting the same. And the one yesterday, it was a long funeral. He was a state trooper. So
well, I know the gentleman. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that was yesterday. So I had a full day, a very full day. What I ate. What did I have to eat? I had a $1 bar that one of the kids was selling for them little chocolate bars they be selling. That was my dinner for the whole day. But apart from that, it kind of quiet weekend.
You eat at the funeral?
At church. Finished later than I thought, but people were coming for the funeral. They came early because it was a different church who was actually using our facility, but they came early, and most of the people, the staff had left already. So, and because I guess I knew the ins and outs and where things were and everything like that, and I had to wait also for the body to come.
Long day.
It was very long, but the chocolate bar was good though.
Okay, Mark.
I can't top that story.
And we're not going to talk about football neither, the real football.
I can't top that story.
Man United are going, come on, man. Give me something.
We're not going about Man United right now.
Okay, then. We can crush that one.
Right. But anyway.
No, Birmingham did win. So we on top of our league. It's not the greatest league in the division, but we're on top of our league, and we going places. And we play a cup game tomorrow.
Wait, when you go up, are you going up into Premier?
We're going up into the league championship, the second division. Yeah, so Premier, then the league.
Yeah.
So we coming for Villa. So
yeah.
But apart from that,
amen. So are you gonna say anything, Mark? Are you gonna talk about your weekend or?
I know.
I have nothing to say because he done took it all. Other than Saturday, we're rehearsing for our upcoming production.
Oh yeah.
For our Black History production that's coming up on the 16th. Wow, the 16th.
The end of the month.
No, it's the 16th.
Okay, then.
The Thursday. See, you didn't know when the play is. It's on the 16th.
It's okay. I got my play right here. I'm practicing.
So on the 16th, and then yesterday, Bishop Saunders Jr. as well. man spoke a dynamic message as usual. Our mass choir tore up. They were dressed in kente, looked so authentic.
The
Started off by
Black
singing
history.
They started off singing the Black National Anthem.
Yes.
It was so beautiful in the sanctuary just to hear it, man. I tell you.
I'm so glad that everybody was singing the words from the TV screen.
But at least the words were there
But anyway,
to help people sing it. But other than that, man, it was a beautiful, 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 beautiful weekend.
what we're talking about today?
So tonight we're
Which I
going to
know
talk
already.
about
Dating online or online dating?
we're talking about, is it better to date online versus meeting in person?
Oh, yes.
So we're going to look at the pros and cons of both.
Yes.
And tonight we're excited to have a special guest with us. But before I introduce our guest, you need to say.
So before our guest comes on, because I know you're going to do this a lot, please, in the name of Jesus Christ, push the like button, push the share button, and subscribe to Warriors United FC. FC is for Christ. So we appreciate you. We appreciate those who have done it. And let's get on with this show with our special guest.
And she is none other than Judy Saunders Jones.
No.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Miss Jones.
Hi, everyone.
Wow.
How y'all doing?
Good. So introduce yourself to our listening audience, first-time viewers, all that kind of stuff. Tell us who you are, Miss Jones.
Okay, well, I am, good evening, everyone, Judy Saunders, and I'm the youngest, the baby girl of late Chief Apostle Mother R. Saunders Sr. and elected lady Alberta Brockington Saunders, proud mother of two daughters, Julian and Jada Jones.
They can wave. I know they're there.
They're somewhere all around, and so
They're there. They're there.
Yes, my little girl, my lovely ladies, and yes, so that's who I am in education for over 30 some years, and continue to date and single, single again, I should say. So since 2010. So I have almost too much experience and knowledge on the topic, unfortunately.
And you're also an in-law to.
Oh Lord.
I'm an in-law to
Deacon Judy.
Reverend Simon Rollins.
I'm your big brother. You're my little sister.
Big brother. We celebrate and we grieve over our Ravens together.
Yes.
Yes. That's my buddy.
Just to let you know, Judy, me and Marsha are going backwards and forth. So yeah.
I did not answer that latest thing. I'm not going down that tunnel.
The later dates. So anyway.
Yeah, it must be an inside thing. We're just listening here.
It is.
So one thing I think the three of us have, guys, is that we all met our spouses in church, right? We did it the old-fashioned way. So tonight we're looking at, is online dating, is that a better thing to do nowadays, or still meeting in person? So let's just have that conversation.
Yes, online. So
first, I guess. Oh, sorry, you got something to say?
No, I was just gonna say a pro.
I was gonna say at first, let's talk about what do we mean by, because some people may not know what we mean by online dating. There's some folks over 70 watches sometimes, and they
push the button.
All right. Let's talk. What do we consider online dating?
Well, from my perspective, online dating is you go and click on one of those apps, and you set yourself up a profile. And then from there, you're hoping to get someone to snatch onto your profile. And then you're able to have some type of communication with the person who gravitated towards your profile.
Nice. All right.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be like a typical dating site. There's a lot of people that start up online dating through Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Right. And so however they're using their social media platform, they may meet someone that way as well. and not necessarily have to be subscribed to an online dating site per se.
So we are not talking about two people who are talking online that met each other, are talking online. One's in California, one's in New York, and you're talking online. That's not what we're talking about. Long distance relationships are that way. We're talking about meeting somebody through an online service and then striking up a relationship. So that's what we're talking about. So go ahead, Sami, ask your question or your pros and cons or whatever you got.
No, so just at the beginning, just give us a pro, not a con, but a pro, the good side about it. Easy, pushing buttons, or people putting their real picture on there or whatever.
Yeah. I think a pro is that it's more accessible. It's easier to meet a diverse group of people that you may not have run into normally. It's a whole new world out there, and so for instance, if your world is all about church and work or whatever, and you're rarely getting out there, then again, it's just another way to expose yourself to meeting people again that you may not have met in your everyday going out and coming in. The other thing is that it kind of sharpens your tool of getting to know people and meeting people. If you're like a kind of shy person, you really get to engage in what does it mean to get to know someone? What does it mean to strike up a conversation with a stranger? It helps you determine things that you like or don't like, right? And so you can meet a person and they're very nice, but you feel in your spirit that's not your person, or they may have some things that you're not really are not for you. And so you find this out, and then you go on and you get to know other people. So the social aspect can be very positive as well. Kind of get you out of your shyness and get you out there, work with your little, help you if you're introverted. It can help you be a little bit more extroverted. So it has some positives to it.
Because you said it right there, it helps you get outside of your social circle. So
Yes.
that way you're able to connect with someone that, may be compatible with you.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I definitely think that at least the pro I would think would be, like you were saying, that you kind of get to weed through, right? You can look at compliments, things that you like. And I guess we're going to take it from a perspective of the Christian side, right? So as you're a Christian, you go to church, you can see, are they spiritual? You kind of forget those first couple of questions because you don't have to, because okay, they're a Christian, or they're this, or they're that. They like sports, they don't like sports. They have kids, they don't have kids. What it is about them that you can kind of complement each other. So you kind of X or circle things you like and X the things you don't. So I guess that's a positive. But what do you think is for a Christian, because most of us that watch or go to watch our show are probably related, Christians. For Christians who are contemplating this, right? Do I do this? Do we think it's a positive in the eyes of the church?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do we think the church kind of feels about it? Like, is it a positive? Is it a negative?
Yeah.
If you've done it, has there been pushback? What type of pushback, kind of thing?
So I haven't gotten pushback. However, there are these two theories of when, especially with women, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and so this perception that if you are putting yourself out there and you're creating a profile, you are moving ahead of God's plan, that you should not be liking anyone, you should not be pursuing anything, but that you should be in this waiting moment, and that God knows how to get Boaz to you. And he's not necessarily going to get you to an online dating site. But I always question and challenge and say, well, who says? How do we know how God is going to bring him to you? It could be walking in your job. It could be in the grocery store. It could be, a myriad of things that could happen. But he also can find you online as well. And so to me, though, that seems to be one of the things that can be contradictory in thoughts of whether Christians should be online or not. And from more so the perspective of a woman, are you going out of the will of God by pursuing and looking for when really he is to be finding the wife, not you looking for a husband or a mate?
So we're gonna have another phrase that says, "He that findeth a wife findeth a good dateline." Look at Rufus. But throw that one away.
But Jude, but to your point, that brings about the church maybe feeling like about the misrepresentation, because people may always be honest about their appearance, interest, or intentions.
Yes.
So you get that thing as well, because there are a lot of people out there. What is it called? Fishing.
Oh yes.
Oh no, catfishing. Excuse me, catfishing, where they go out and try. They got these fake profiles, and then you think you're getting the right person. Come to find out, this is not the individual that you thought. You meet them in a restaurant, go, your picture had you looking with blonde hair. Now you come to look like a brunette.
Let me tell you something. I've been catfished before too.
You have.
I have been catfished before.
Oh,
that date lasted all but 15 minutes. I had somebody ready on standby, and I was like, if I text you, call me, and we're gonna act like it's an emergency. Oh yeah, we could. I did that.
But see what you just said, which a lot of people should also think about, that if you do go on a date from a dateline, and then you do go on a date, to have your P's and Q's ready, just in case you're going to call someone, so they know where you are and what you're doing and what's happening or whatever, so you can push the button. So if you need an emergency, just like you said, look, I'm gone. I need to see you outside. So because we know what it is like now in this kind of world or generation. So
you definitely have to be smart with it. You have to be intentional and smart. I have a whole village that knows when I'm going out. And I give them the information, profile name, and everything. Hopefully, by the time I've gone out, I got a first and a last name. I have information. My daughters have track me on their phone, so they know how to know where I am and where I'm located. We have an agreement that I text when I get somewhere, and I will text when I get back. Everybody knows where I am. And so I'm never going off someplace and my village doesn't know where I am or who I'm going with, the name, the picture, everything. Let me show you. This is all of the things. And then when I get there, if we are somewhere and I get a picture of his car, his license tag, I'm getting a picture of the license tag number too. Because I'm like, just in case you trying to get
crazy.
You one of them.
So
I got all that.
Back to your point about the church saying, a man findeth the woman. And because that's kind of a good point, right? In a way. But it, like you said, right? If you're online, it's not that you're finding him, you're finding each other.
Yes.
And you just happen to agree with each other's points to make a coming together. But it's not as if you're coming together to get married. You're coming together just to see if you have found me. Because what I don't like about what people take that scripture for, it's like, oh, if you find them in church, it's much. No, wait, the woman wants to be seen still. It's just, she's just not, she's, in all cases, even if the man comes to a young lady in church, she still can swipe left or right, right?
Absolutely.
So I don't know why people act like there's a big difference in how you do it, because at the end of the day, he's still finding you as a woman, right? I would think, right? He's still
I love the way you say that.
Right. Okay.
I completely agree with you.
All right.
And I think from COVID, the online dating really increased because it was convenient. From the comfort of your own home, you didn't have to worry about going out. You couldn't go anywhere, so you couldn't go nowhere. You couldn't go anywhere. It was safer,
and you couldn't see them anyway because they had masks on. So you have a mask on and you trying to date. Take that thing off. Let me see. All you see is eyes.
Exactly.
But at the same time, people will be surprised how many Christians are on that date line, online dating or whatever. So of course the over 70s, what you talking about? Online dating. The money's there ready for you. But he's like, the brothers are not there in the congregation, man. The brothers are not there in the
So I don't mean to say this to be offensive, but I often joke at transformation, it's like MOT is MIA, right? Like for me in my age bracket, there's not a lot of single available men missing in action, Simon. MOT, minute transformation.
No, I'm being nice.
So when they have prayer on the second Sunday and the altar is packed,
yes,
it's like how you have a lot of men, but you don't have a lot of men, right? Because there's not a lot of diversity. It's like either they're married or they're younger.
Yes.
It's just at least for my age group, it's not a lot of men that are coming into the church. We don't go to conferences like we used to. We have our convocations and things of that nature. But back in the day, it's like you all made a point. We were introduced. In my first marriage, I was introduced. They knew the family, and so you were able to make these connections with people, or they were in the church. But it's not like that anymore. It's so difficult now.
Well, see, that's good because I mean, of course, that's how I met Rachel and it was different country thing. So it was in church. It was a family thing where you had to go and talk to her parents first before I want to ask if I want to take her out on a date or anything. So, but
I remember those days well, Simon.
Yeah, but we didn't have online dating then. I had to page your dad. No, I had to page him. No.
Right. But see, if we look at flip to the in person to some people is a challenge because for one, you don't know how that person is going to receive you once you meet them. You're all nervous, you're all flustered. Body language gives off a lot. And if your body language doesn't come off or resonate the right way, that's going to be a turnoff. And so it's that it's like getting a nerve up to even ask that person out. Like with me, I asked Anita out 3 times. She said no. 3 times, and she said no.
That's a good wife.
But you know what? After the 3rd time, she said yes. So from there, 35 years later, what can I say?
I know that's right.
Just before, because you can tell us about because I think a lot of these questions are coming up. There's going to be cons and everything. So I'm going to say my line, and then we're going to get into these questions
and comments.
So of course, we got a great audience. Woo! Look at them numbers. Help us, Jesus. Push the button.
Continue.
Share it with your friends, school people, work, wherever it is. I don't look up to the moon and you see somebody press that button and subscribe with us, please. Please subscribe with us because we really love you all. We really do. And we appreciate everyone who pushes all them 3 buttons that they need to push. Let's go, Judy.
Rupert, did you hear what he said? He said, look up to the moon.
Let's just move on. So obviously so we have a bunch of questions, and thank you. We have a bunch of questions that we're gonna try to answer.
Go ahead.
Here's one from Anita Brodus, a long-time listener of our show. Anita Brodus says, "What assurance do you have the person who is who he says he is?"
Here come the cons. Let's go.
So I think it's the same. What I find out is that when you're talking to someone, so there's a couple of things like, so how do we know who they are? First of all, if they look the way they are, do they work the way they do and all that? I do investigative work beforehand, right? So again, if I'm meeting with someone and I get a first and a last name, I do a couple of things. I put your search in the Maryland judiciary system. First of all, I want to make sure you don't have a record. You don't have all of this stuff. I'm gangster with it. I ain't playing with folks.
Yes.
You have those and the conversation. So what do you do for a living? It's real easy to Google people right now. It's Google them, look them up on LinkedIn, look them up on Instagram or Facebook. What is that digital lifestyle of them? And then that's the one way that you find out. Secondly, you can find out who they are by FaceTiming initially. So if you don't go out for coffee or tea, or if they don't ask you out, you can have conversations over the phone where you're getting used to their personality. You're finding out information. FaceTiming helps you determine that they look like who they say they are. because you got to be careful. One of the things we say is that if somebody is just all of their pictures are about the neck up, then be mindful, because what's below the neck, you have no idea until you see them. And so there's things that you can ask for. You look in the profile. Can you give me full body pictures? Can you do whatever? And that's not being nasty. It's just, I get to see what my preferences are, and you have those conversations.
But
in all honesty,
AI is so slick nowadays.
They give them a body type.
They can put
AI is real slick. And I'm gonna tell you, I have guys that will say on their profile, if you have a bunch of filters, swipe left, right? Because they know when you have filters up, and they don't like that. And so you need to give your best picture doing different things, and you want to see the same from them, doing and participating in different things. Now, the insurance of who they are. So you say you're a Christian. This is something I've talked to Simon about a lot. A lot of people will say, I just want a Christian, right? But in Christianity, you can be unequally yoked as well. And so you can have a person and they say God first, family, all of those things, but they 420 friendly, which is they like to smoke weed. They smoke a cigar. They like to gamble. They could do all these things that are not what you want or what you feel is compatible as a Christian woman looking for a mate. You find that out in conversations.
Yes.
Right? You find that out on their downtime of what they do. You can find out their language, if they are cursor or not. They could be a saint and cuss like a sailor. And if you can't deal with that, I can't do that. You're a professional person. You have these great pictures. You look like nice. You love God, all these things. But every other sentence, the F word or the SH, that's not going to work for me. And so that just having conversations and everything else. And then once you go out, that's even better. But to be honest, it's no different than if I met a man at the gas station and we start having a conversation. The only thing I'm really sure of is what he looks like. But all the other baggage that could be there, you don't know that until you take your time and really get to know someone. But that's an excellent question.
That goes with all dating, right? So
Yeah,
the assurance of that person, you'll never know until you, as you said, get to know them. Because even in church, you got some people who look like, but when they're out of church, it's something different. So I think that's a great point. And
she said you can swipe left or right, but Judy just answered that.
Yeah.
You left or right, left or right.
Left means nah, right means okay.
Let's continue. Okay, go ahead, Talia. He's starting to be a regular. Go ahead, help yourself. I appreciate your help last night too. Thank you. Do you feel that you are getting a person's representative when you are on the line dating, like for the first 90 days? So she's giving the time here.
And then there's part 2 to that question too. Right?
So I think everybody is on their best behavior in that first beginning part. And that's just in general. And so it's not until you're consistent and you're going out and having conversations. Let me tell you something. Crazy don't hide well, right?
There you go.
I've talked to people on the phone, and you can tell something is off. The more you have conversations with them, the more you just like, something ain't right in my viscera. And that's a real gift that God has given us, is this intuition that something is off. They can only hide but so long. And so talking 90 days or so, that's a good time to get to know someone, to see if they're consistent. I'll be mindful, be careful of the signs, because online is open for ghosting. So that's one of those cons, right? Because it's like a person in a candy store. They get easily distracted by the newest and most prettiest or most handsomest profile picture. So you could be talking to somebody, but if they're getting distracted and they're swiping and constantly going through, they may ghost you. And all of a sudden you don't hear from them anymore. That's what ghosting is. Poof, you don't know what happened. They don't return your calls. They don't do all those things. So you have to be in those 90 days very clear about what does this time look like for us. Are we going to be still looking at other profiles? Are we still going to be talking to people? Or are we going to take a pause so that the two of us can get to know each other better? So you have to have those discussions about boundaries and expectations with people.
So before the next question comes up, do you, if a date is going well, do you have do you ask anyone for a second opinion, like a male or someone, just in case you can see from a male perspective?
If there's something that's coming up that I have questions about, then I will reach out to the opposite sex to kind of get their opinion about what I think could be happening. If the person said this or that, how you read that? Or they do this and that. Yeah, I will go to my brothers and I ask. My brother Bishop Jr., I go to him a lot. And he is very, very protective. What you said?
Leave Bishop alone.
Bishop is real funny. He protective, period. If I'm talking to somebody and he sees someone talking to me, my brother gonna come by and go, "Oh, praise the Lord. How you doing?" So I definitely have my big brothers, whether it's Bishop Jr., Jason, or Simon there. I'm definitely reaching out and I'm going to ask some questions. And one of the big things is like, how do you know if a guy is really into you?
Mm-hmm.
And if I feel like I'm being strung along, and I'll be honest, I have been strung along. People afraid of commitment or whatever. I typically ask that question, like, when did you know so-and-so was the person? Or how do you know? And I always hear the response, you kind of know immediately, or you know very shortly after. And if a man is serious about you, he's going to do X, Y, and Z. He's going to say this and that. So that I do feel that there's value in getting, some insight from the wonderful gentlemen represented on this platform and those that are close to you in your life.
Yeah, I think this one is added on to how do you feel about Christian dating. But what you just said, someone just text me and asked me a question about, says, what advice do you give to someone that after you met them, you're not interested? How do you stop that? Or how do you go on with that?
Oh, I got a good line for that one. So what I say to them, after you've had the conversation, you're just like, you know what? I think you are a really amazing person. I just don't think you're my person. I'm not sure if we're the best match, but you know what? I just thank you for your time, your investment, for taking the time to get to know me, for being open to get to know me. And I definitely wish you the best on your continued search. I wish nothing best for you, but I have to be honest, and I don't want to waste your time. The person that is perfect for you is out there. And so I just have to be honest and transparent, and I wish you well.
That's a long way of saying you're not interested.
If the person is nice, if they're nice, but they're just not a match.
This is the person on the other line.
I got it down good. But if they're nice and they're not a match, then you do that. But if they were a jerk and you just like whatever, you ghost them like
it makes it easy
for me. Yeah. Lose my number, block the phone. I'm not wasting your time.
Lose my number.
Lose it, block it.
So we got a whole bunch on this comment, I guess, because there's non-Christian dating sites and there's Christian dating sites. So I guess the thought is, do we think that Christian dating sites are better than the other sites, or at least safer? I'm going to say I don't think so. I'm going to say people will use anything in any type of way to get what they want. Exactly. Predators will be predators regardless. So you still have to do your protection and be safe on Christian sites as even non-Christian. Now, that'd be my opinion. Yep.
You are absolutely right. And sometimes the quality of the websites are not as good. Let's be honest, right? And so, I've done both. I've done Christian Mingle. I think there's eHarmony is supposed to be a Christian site. It is the worst, okay? The worst site. Very frustrating to navigate. They only send you 5 people a day, and it's never who you say. Everything you say you're interested in, they send you the opposite. You spend a lot of money.
That's desperation right there.
You gotta do your research, right? There's definitely the difference between the free online dating sites and then the ones you pay for. The ones you pay for, of course, are going to be better, right? Mm-hmm. So that's just the reality. But you hit it, Pastor Rupert, on the head. There's so many people out there professing to be Christians, And by that, they just mean, I believe in Jesus Christ. It don't mean that they have a lifestyle of Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
And so that's what you have to make sure you're looking for. I know what I'm looking for. I want a man that serves God, that he's a worshiper. I don't need a pew warmer. Like, so what is your how do you serve in your church? How do you serve in your community? You want to ask all those questions, right? What is your relationship like with God? What is your relationship like with your family? You got to ask all the questions. Just because they're Christian don't mean they Christ-like at all.
Amen.
Because it's the same kind of questions you was asked even if there was an in-person. It's just that
Yeah,
this is the beginning stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've had some Christian men that started with the dirtiest minds. And it like I said, it doesn't take long for that side to show up because they don't know how to hide it.
Exactly.
And so they're going to ask you something inappropriate. They're going to be making inappropriate statements. And, I'm not flattered by that. In fact, and I tell you, if you send me an inappropriate picture, if you give me an inappropriate thing, I'm like, I did not ask for that. I don't know what kind of woman you think I am. And the problem is that there are a lot of Christian women out there that are not acting like Christian women. They're sending inappropriate pictures of themselves. They are doing all the things. And so men don't know what boundaries are until you let them know. And these are my boundaries.
That's good.
And I want to put it on the men's side, right? Because there's Christian men that want to do it the right way, right?
Yes.
Be careful. Just like we're telling the ladies to be careful, the men that are giving them stuff,
Yes.
be careful women that are giving you stuff.
Right.
You have to watch yourself because sometimes
Absolutely.
it's they're good and they're bad about everything. You just have to watch yourself and be careful. But we got a whole bunch of comments.
Yeah, we got
So Anita says,
Go ahead.
she says, I'm also old-fashioned. I need to look the person in the face
3 times.
to see if it's fake or not.
Oh yeah.
And with definitely with my daughter, of course, we're gonna do that with our daughter to make sure this person is not fake. We're gonna look them right in the eye.
Absolutely. And so you
Thank
just
you,
have to
Holly.
determine when that time is appropriate, right? How many conversations on the phone, how many conversations. Like, I don't give somebody my phone number right away. We are communicating via the site
You shouldn't.
for protective measures. And then once I feel comfortable, then we will gravitate onto maybe sharing each other's phone numbers. But if you don't want to share your number, there's other ways that you can do that too. And so having those conversations first, and then when you get to a place where you want to meet each other, then that's important. And so with daughters, out of road as I can imagine, I feel the same way with my daughters, right? I want to meet you. Let me know where you are. What are you doing? Sometimes I go back and forth. I don't want them meeting me unless it's serious. But then there's the other part of me that's like, I need to sniff out who this is. Because when you introduce somebody to your parent, that comes with a significance. That's saying something, that you're important enough to meet my parents and my family.
Yeah, or your
So it's that versus the safety aspect. I want to see and smell you, like you and Anita are saying. And they're both valid points.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, even with your kids, right? You're not. I don't. You have to watch when is the right time for me to introduce them, because you don't want a connection and they don't become the right person. So you have to be careful that way too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I missed this. Oh no, this one.
God still provides and always will. Sound like an evangelist. No matter what the want or need.
Amen.
Ha!
I agree.
True that.
There's a good question by Talia. Why do you think dating has moved to now texting instead of face-to-face? Now, I didn't know it moved to texting.
I didn't know I moved to texting either.
So
I didn't educate.
I guess it's like online, because you're online and you have to online dating.
no, I think she means
That's
texting. I think she means we're texting and talking.
Texting. Right.
I think it's more of a generational thing, right?
Okay.
And so I think that our younger generations, they text more, and older generation, we talk more. We're used to the good old fashioned chatting. And again, like I said, in my age bracket and those that I date, they will say, I'm not into this texting. And so if you are not able to take the time to have a conversation, again, swipe left. And so I think that the texting is the beginning conversations of getting to know, but I still feel that it's better to talk to someone over the phone. It's important. I need to hear your voice. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm a voice person too. So you could be texting with somebody, falling all in love, and then you get on there and he's like, hi. And you're like, what? The voice don't match the text.
They say hi and they go on.
Or they don't know how to have an in-person conversation.
It's Mike Tyson. I'll add this to the text. And I think people will text because you don't have to see me. I can kind of be who I want to be when I'm texting.
Yes.
Right. I the shyness, or I can be more bold. I can be more outgoing when I'm texting. If I have to have a conversation with you, you're going to hear the squeaky voice. You're going to hear the nervousness. You're going to hear that. I can think of my response instead of just having to respond. Right. So I think that texting has become something that is widely appreciated. Because I'll tell you this. I found on my daughter's Snapchat, because I checked, there was AI dating. She's 12. And I'm like, what is this? So she says a comment and the AI responds.
Right away.
And I'm like, what? So I had to tell this AI, I'm a child of God, go away.
Right.
And AI was like, I'm like, really? You want me to go away? What has changed? I'm like, are you serious?
Oh my God.
Why did you type in, Mr. AI, I'm her father? Any more questions?
I should try that.
Yes.
And let me tell you something. And scammers love texting. Okay. So if you're talking to someone who is not, and you could tell the difference, because them jokers, they don't even know how to play it off either. You could tell the difference in the grammar. You could tell the difference in the consistency of the communications. I tell you, I haven't been through and experienced it all. I've never been scammed. And sometimes I will admit this. I like playing with the scammers to make them think I don't know that they are scammers. So I can blow them up. But scammers will tend to stay to the text. And that's why at some point you want to gravitate to having a conversation on the phone. Now, scamming has gotten a little more sophisticated where they do have people that will talk to you on the phone. They'll try to get you on WhatsApp and all of those things. So you got to be mindful, have the conversation, because them dumb scammers, they think you stupid. And that's where I get infuriated. I'm like, okay, all right, I'm gonna play. You want to play? You playing with a real pro at this. But you need to have the conversations. That way you know what's up.
To your point about scammers, I'll show it to Anita. I'll get something on my phone and say, hey, how are you? And I'm going, no, we're not playing this. I just delete it real quick. It's like, because once you answer that question, it's going to open that door.
And then sometimes it's come from a person who you know, and they go, oh, how you doing? And you're like, wait a minute, that person don't talk to me like that.
No.
And then you go, I'm doing great. Well, can we have a conversation on what do you think about it? You say, this is not the same person.
No.
So, I mean, like you said, they're stupid. Yeah.
They've been hacked.
They real dumb. But the saddest thing is that is one of the second biggest ways women are getting caught up and giving up thousands and thousands of dollars, right? And so the dangers of online dating is that they are looking for some things. They're looking at your Christian woman. They're looking because they believe Christian women have a heart and they're humanitarians at the core. And so they reach out through that lens. And so they come with this already fake, fabricated story with the goal of having you fall in love with them right away. So the way to find out if by day 3, they in love with you and something is telling them that you're wonderful and they're trying to get you off the site, scammer. Okay. Because at some point they're going to hit you and either their child is going to need money for a plane ride. They're going to need money for something. They're going to ask you to purchase a green card. And believe it or not, women get fooled and they fall into these traps all the time. And so you just have to be very careful. And that's not even talking about the dangerous ones you may fall. That's just a scammer. But you also, again, need to be aware of a man's temperament or a woman's temperament.
Yes.
Quickly as well. Are they getting attached too soon? Are they showing signs of jealousy?
Start stalking.
Are they, I could tell when you're going up and down. Again, folk can't hide it, but for so long. But I remember talking to someone, this wasn't even online. We were introduced, person was out of state. And in 5 months, he yelling and screaming at me all over the phone, acting crazy. I said, you haven't even met me yet. If this is what the honeymoon period looks like, and we arguing and you acting a fool.
But that's how the cons like the online dating, because if you getting online and you vulnerable because you're angry with your parents, or you're angry with a man, or you're angry with a woman, and they can sense it or feel it, then the question type that they put up is not really what you're going to hear, but it's to satisfy you so you can be drawn in. So that's the con parts of that, if you're vulnerable and you're not thinking like how you're thinking.
So do your research. You get, you want to be physically safe with someone, financially. Don't give anybody your money ever. Don't give them personal identifier. Just none of that. None of that. And even if you're going out with several dates, don't go down that either. Right? I got to get to know you first before I start disclosing. Even for me, if you have children, you're not meeting my daughters.
Yeah.
Unless I know that this is consistent. I never made it so that my daughters would be like, okay, here's Uncle Bobby coming in, here's Uncle Pete. No, my babies are my pride and joy. And unless I feel that it's going to be something, you don't even get that access. You don't know where I live. You will never know where I live unless I feel that it's safe for you. But I don't even let you know my address. I'm meeting you somewhere. That way, if I need to bounce, I got my transportation. I'm not relying on you. So I'm stuck and stranded in a bad situation. So it's just wisdom that you have to use when you're dating.
That goes for all dating. I mean,
Yes.
that's great advice to young ladies. Young ladies, don't go there. Like I would tell, go there with your own money.
Yes.
Go there with your own vehicle, and don't tell that person where you live or anything. Go there, because if you have to get out, you can get out. There's no hold bars. You're not stuck. That's great. That's great advice. I'm sorry, Mark. You were saying.
That's what I was going to say. With our busy schedules of today, would you think that the timing and scheduling could be an issue with the in-person dating? Could that be a major factor?
I think, and I've always been told, rule of thumb, if a person is really interested in you, they're going to make time to get to know you and to meet you. I think online dating is just more convenient, Mark, honestly, because people are busy. But also, as a Christian, I'm not going to particular places to meet folk. I'm not going to happy hour. I'm not going in those places where people meet each other. And so just because you do online dating, it doesn't mean you don't try to meet other people other ways. That's why singles ministries are so important, right? Bring an opportunity to bring singles together. But then also, when I'm out in the market, in the grocery store, make sure you look good. Alberta Brackett Saunders always said, don't go out that house looking at any old kind of way, because you never know who you're going to meet. But online dating is, again, just a convenient way to introduce you to people, especially when you have a busy schedule. And nowadays, a lot of folk are working a lot of long hours, and they just don't get out, and they're not going out to places for whatever reason. And so they find it easier to just do online.
Well, one last question. What do you feel about people to go to those speed dating sessions where you sit in a room or when people come around
with the balloons? Where you pop a balloon?
Well, not just the balloon, but they just sit around.
No, Hitch. She's talking about Hitch, like the movie Hitch.
I thought about Hitch.
You just go around and just be, what do you think about some stuff like that?
Actually, I would love to do that. I think that would be so much fun. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Because instantly you could tell whether you're physically attracted to somebody or not. You have a quick amount of time. It's no obligation, right? There's no obligation. We talk, we have a conversation, and that little bit, if I'm interested, then maybe I could go back and we could stir up a conversation. If you go with a group of girlfriends, it's not you by yourself. You got a tribe that's there with you, a village that can experience it with you. Again, you're sharpening your social skills, so it's getting you out of your shell a little bit to meet someone, but you don't have to walk away with anybody. You could just say, oh, that was a fun experience, and call it a day.
That's like that dating show where you got like 9 women or 9 men lined up. They all got a balloon, the balloon in their hand.
Pop the balloon.
Yeah, the guy comes in or the female comes in, and all of a sudden it's like
Pop, pop, pop.
pop, 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 pop. You just walked in. You just walked in.
I have not. I have not seen that.
Go
How
to
does one
YouTube,
feel?
pop the balloon.
Yeah, how
listen.
does one feel when you walk in? There's 9 females or 9 males,
Nah.
and 6 of them have already popped the balloon
I'm not interested.
just because they looked at you.
Oh my God, that would be
It'll make you turn
overwhelming.
off.
Nah.
That would be
That one.
overwhelming. But look, let me tell you also what online dating is doing. Like, so some of the sites have events that they host, and you got to pay for it. But if you're interested, like they may do a murder train ride thing, or they may do hiking or whatever, rock climbing.
Yeah.
And so through those sites, Match as an example, they will have those type of events where, like, again, if you're interested, you show up there, they plan those type of things. So they really are trying to combine online experience with in-person experience as well. So that's just something to be mindful. They're always changing and revolving, these online dating sites. But
I want to get to this last point, but we got a couple things here. Oh, we got a couple more. So I hope there are no
Ooh, that's a good
outside
one.
men looking for a female companion. There is. But
so there's not, okay, so what's different, and this is just not a platform, but there are people that will say what they are, and so they will tell you whether they're trans male or trans female, or on profiles, people will say, I prefer that you be born the sex of this and that. I've seen men on their profiles will say women only, and they put that in all caps. And so that's just another layer of questions and conversations that you have to have. There's some people that are looking for the swinging thing, right? They'll reach out there. I have a significant other, but they're okay with me reaching out to find another woman to join our thing. And so when you're on these sites, again, read all of that. And people are transparent. There's some situations where you may not know the deal, but for the most part, people are transparent about who they are. And you have to be then transparent about who you are and your boundaries.
So is there anything now? Because remember, there used to be that quote, "Love at first sight," on the dating line. I mean, you see that picture? Woo! I mean,
There's even a show called that.
yeah.
Oh, Married at First Sight. Yeah.
There's Married at First Sight, and then there's the blind, Love is Blind.
Love is Blind.
Yeah.
And that's where they are in those pods and they're talking for a long period of time, and they're supposed to fall in love with the personality, and then they go and propose and see each other for the first time.
And then they get the
And-
heart broke.
I look, I don't know whether love is blind or what. I just know that when you pray and you ask God, like there's what you want and then there's what you need.
Come on.
And I believe that God has a way of blending those two things together, what you want and actually what you need. And he has a way of checking off boxes that you never even thought of, right? And so I just believe that God has, for me, the person, not just for Judy now, but Judy in the future. Judy, when Judy fulfills the purpose that he has called me to, and who is that right person for that?
Right.
And I'll be honest, that's the lens that I look at. That's why I'm swiping left a lot of times, because inwardly I know that that's not what God is saying. And in my vulnerable moments, will I entertain a date with somebody who I know they may be the nicest person or they're okay, but I know deep in my spirit, Judy. And it's who is that covering for me spiritually?
Yeah.
Who's that going to be that covering for the unique gift that God has given me, the unique calling that God has given me? And so no matter how you find your mate or however that person is introduced to you, whether it's online or whatever, never move away or shy away from what you know God is telling you is for you. And don't force it, because it never works. It never works.
Yeah.
This is the show that you were talking about, Mark.
Yes.
It's on MTV called Catfish.
Yep.
That's where people give you the fake profiles. It is a funny show. I've watched many of those episodes. I thought it was hilarious.
It helps you with your counseling, correct?
Yeah. It's not for the person who's being catfish at the time. It's not fun for them, but it is interesting how they went about finding out these people were something that they were not. So
we got 3 minutes, Judy. I gotta ask you this before we go on the show. And audience, I'm just joking, because you can love anybody and fall in love with everybody or anything like that. But if you go on online dating and you flick to the left and someone's he's good looking and he's wearing a Steeler hat, I want to know. I gotta know.
Oh my goodness!
I gotta know, Judy.
I've had a couple of Steeler fans come at me, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're real nice, but the deal breaker is you're a Steelers fan. I'm like, you a Steelers fan, boo. But I tend to be, football is my end. So I have a lot of I meet a lot of good people because I'm able to talk football with them.
So what you're saying, this man could have an excellent profession, mansion on a hill, spirit-filled, and because he has on that Steeler outfit, he's gonna be a no?
No, here's what I'm saying.
I did say the disclaimer at the beginning, Judy. I did say that.
You know, God is, it may be God. I'm going to get to know you. I'm going to get to know you outside of your Steeler thing. And I think it's cute sometimes when you see couples, like I have a friend, one is a Commanders fan, one is an Eagles fan. This is
no, we don't say that
and you
word.
see those little cute things there, and they agree that they won't watch the game in the same room or in the same space and things. So I think I can make it work. But I tell you, when I see a Steelers shirt come up there, Simon, I give him the business.
Yeah, but I know what Judy would say if she did, though, because she could say, you're going to meet the family. It's not going to be easy. Because I got to let them know.
and let me tell you, it ain't easy. And they come to me because I say I'm a diehard Ravens fan. I bleed purple and black. That is who I am. And I have it in my profile. I'm straight up Ravens girl, and they know that. And they'll come talking to me. But I'm like, I'm Ravens girl. I could talk trash with them, and I know my stuff, and I know my information.
Well, Judy, thank you.
Thank you. The show is over. You were great.
But all I want to say to you, Eagle people, go Kansas City. That's all I got to say.
What?
Hey, come on. You know, I do not like the Eagles.
I'm out. Anyway,
and I don't need the Chiefs to win either.
Judy, another show, Judy.
We'll talk about that next time.
Bring me back for football talk.
What you got to say real quick,
Love
man?
you, Judy. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a good night.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I didn't even say that. You're welcome. I don't know where you guys were at.
You're welcome. Judy, stay on. We'll talk later.
Okay.